Alright, so I'm going to be taking a look at a game that really only Miracle can play. There's very few people in the entirety of the Dota 2 player base that can achieve what just happened in this pub. First of all, this is a pub, a very, very high-rated pub. We have ILTW on the Phantom Lancer against Miracle's Luna. There's also some other, yeah. This is a very, very high-rated pub. Relatively, yeah. It's quite high. It's over an 8k MMR pub, for sure. And so we're going to start off with the... It's not the positioning right now. They're not really... Yeah, really good save there from NP, from the Marana era. Yeah, you're not going to see that too often in your pubs. And we already see that, and the game hasn't even really started yet. So Miracle went double circlets that are going to build into 2 Wraith Bands, 2 Iron Branches that are going to turn into a 1 more likely, and 6 Tangos for the laning stage. They're going to get this. Yeah, they are. We have to expend a lot of HP and mana to get that though. And we're just going to speed it up, because I don't think either of them are going to die. And like usual, the first point goes into Lunar Blessing. You block because you know the NP and Tuscan get a really good block. And if you don't block, then the game is going to get, the lane is going to be much, much harder for you to contest. Yeah, pulling back the wave. So you can... Here he wants to deny it, but it's very, very difficult when the Tuscan just press E. And yeah. And Miracle's goal here is to really just CS. He really wants to CS, but yeah, Nature's Prophet will be able to just sentry and set him, and it's going to be very difficult with the Tusky to be able to do this well, to not get harassed out of the lane, because that's what's going to happen right now. He's going to get harassed out of the lane, and there's not much he can do about it. And because there's not much he can do about it, he's already preparing. He's already preparing for it. So if Nature's, again, if like second point into into Moonglyphs is unheard of this patch. I'm sure it's been tried, but not at the top level of Dota. Like, this is not a pro game, but this is a high level pub, and that matters when you have ILTW and other good players on course in the enemy team. If you're not playing to your full potential, you're gonna get out carried by the enemy who is taking the game seriously. And so because he sees how the lane is going to go, he puts the second point to Moonglyphs, and he's going to continue doing this. He's going to max Moonglyphs and Lunar Blessing. And this patch, that's unheard of, really. 2 points, you're expecting the next 2 points to go into Lucent Beam, and then the 4th point either into Moonglyphs or the second point into Lunar Blessing, and then maxing Lucent Beam with a point into ult. We don't see that this game. And if how many players would be able to get away with this build? There's only a handful of players, really, in all of Dota that are trusted enough and play at a high enough level to get away with this build at a certain level of gameplay. If some rank 700 shitter want this build, like, people would look at it and then they'd be like, oh, GG, he's trolling, or he's not playing seriously, he's not taking it seriously. Nah, the pull was too early. And so now he's just going to, yeah, just CS. And Bane, he can't really help the Bane here. So Bane's likely to die here. Yep. And he's just harassing them. But again, he's missing all the CS here. But, third point goes into Lunar Blessing. And he already has he already has one of the Wraith Bands, and the second one is going to be coming to him soon. He could have bought it, and Bane could have picked it up, but that's whatever. And there's another reason he's not going the 2 points into Lucent Beam or maxing Lucent Beam. You're against Nature's Prophet. If you just use all your mana to harass him out of the lane, he's just going to TP back to base, regen up, and use his second teleportation to come back and start hitting you again. And now you have no mana, and he's just going to pressure you more. Or do you want to spend all your gold on mana regen and play this game where you can just regen up for free, and you spend all your mana on spend all your gold on mana items or mana regen? You want to do neither, right? Because the game is really on you to carry your miracle.
This reward transcends expectation.
Yeah, 4th point, and now he's thinking about it. Is he going to go another point into Lucent Beam, or nope? Says, this is the build. He thought about it, and he's like, you know what? I can farm Nature's Prophet treants when he goes on me. I have extra damage and armor, and this just speeds up my farm. So this allows him, because he's going this build, it allows him to change not only the skill build. So with a skill build change, it allows him to change the item build, and we'll see that shortly. He's going to build, he's not going for a wand first, he's going for a treads with the gloves of haste first, because he really just wants to hit the creeps. And the 5th point goes into the glaives. And another really caveat I haven't mentioned is that this allows him to passively harass. Because the glaives are going to be bouncing so much, the enemies will have to get in creep range, and that's going to make it so that they're going to take passive damage just because of the moonglaives. Really, it's not a problem before the late game, and he's going to miss the CS. Yeah, that's unfortunate. We really don't want to be doing that. And already he can see the state of the game. It's 5-1. They're really getting crushed in the laning phase, and they should be, because the Radiant lineup is just much better at lanes than Dire's until a certain point. Mid shouldn't have died. Yeah, mid really shouldn't have died, but I didn't put up the net worth. That is my bad. But it's not that far behind. So let's speed this up a little bit, and he can already start doing what you would start doing after 3 more minutes. Like when you have your treads, you have your double wraith band, and then you have your mask of your mask to regen off of. Then you go into the mask of bandits, and then you can start jungling and pushing out waves. He's already doing that 6.5 minutes in, because he went 0-3-3. He hasn't put a point into Lucent Beam or ult. And you really don't want to put a point to ult before you have any point to Lucent Beam. So he's going to go 4-4-1 with a point into probably the attack speed at this point. You have no reason to go to cast range, because Lucent Beam isn't a spell that you're going to be using. But attack speed is going to help you farm faster, even though it's just 15 attack speed. Yep. Yeah, Nature's Prophet, and you also see how strong the spell is when Nature's Prophet is going to leave this lane for a little bit, and he's going to start hitting the tower. He's going to be able to farm while hitting the tower, and the tower is going to go down to half health with all of this. Even though they use Glyph, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, he's just hitting the tower and he's farming the waves. Of course, when they get low, he's going to make sure that he gets the last hits, but one wave and it's half health with the glyph being used. Amber's here, and that's one of the bad points, right? He can't really contest. He can't really harass the enemies out of the lane, and if they go aggro on him, he can't really do much. He can't help his teammates. He can't even help himself. He really is only relegated to farming. And we were going to see what this 4 points of Moonglyphs can do to help him farm way faster than the enemies can. The enemies are crushing the game right now, but yeah, now he can just farm. He can freely just farm with his poor man's shield. He's going to be, blocking enough damage where it doesn't matter. He can just tank, and the extra armor too. His 4.6 health regen is enough to jungle his way to victory. And I mentioned that because of this build, he can change his item build. He doesn't have to go to Mask Bandits to speed up his farming and to cash back up in the game to be able to jungle. He already has the build for that. And yeah, 1 point to listen. This looks really weird, doesn't it? But he can just go straight Yasha and Manta because of this build. He doesn't need to go the Mask of Madness. Again, he's stacking for himself. He's lucky to get this ancient camp stacked and not the big camp. And at level 10, I don't even think he's going to take the clips. He's going to take the, like with the mindset he already has, he's going to take the 15 attack speed. He is taking a little bit of damage from killing the ancients, but it's all reasonable amounts. And because he's walking from tower to, he's getting that little bit of extra regen to catch up. Like he got an extra 3 regen for a couple of seconds. And all that small matters when the creeps are just not hitting you for all that much. And note that the enemies not only does Miracle know his game plan, his teammates also know the game plan. So they're leaving all the morsel of farm that Miracle wants, and they're leaving it to him. Because they know the state of the game, that they're losing and they're on the back foot, and that it's Miracle's game to carry. And you have to allow him to carry the game. He already has a Yasha and the recipe at 12 minutes. He's going to have Mantisal at 14 minutes. It's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous timing if you think about it. But the enemies are so far ahead that not even the Manta is going to matter that much. He needs another item from Manta to do well. And he just wants to hit. He's already like, you know what? I'm going to hit the creeps. And then with this Manta plus 1 item, I'm going to hit enemies. And I want to be strong enough that they just cannot deal with me when I'm hitting them. Yeah. Because of this build though, yeah, he did go the 15 attack speed. And the bad point is though, if somebody kind of jumps him with 1 or 2 heroes, he either has to leave or TP out. But you know, because he was so close to the base and he wants to really just farm anyways, he can just walk back and really no time was wasted. The lane even gets pushed back into him. So he's going to push this out, push out the next lane, and go back to farming the ancients. And yeah, and he's already prepped the courier to get the Manta as soon as you can. And it's another aspect of high level players that we just don't see in pubs. We don't see this preemptive courier usage, be it secret shops or Roshans in late game. There's like certain areas where you can put your courier that let you know if the enemy is doing Rosh, and you can even attempt to steal it or just give yourself some knowledge. Now, with the Manta, he does feel a little bit strong, but he's not really that strong still. The enemies are still quite ahead, and they have 3 heroes. Like, he's just 1,000 gold ahead of the enemy. But overall, they're 4k gold ahead. And it's not like, yeah, he is the highest level by 2, but it's when multiple cores are, you know, you're not going to be able to 1v3 the cores yet. And he's thinking of going into this item, you know, Hurricane Pike. That's the normal build, but I don't think. Okay, why? Okay, there we go. Now he really has to TP out here. He cannot fight this. He thinks he can fight this, but he really can't. He had to TP out. It was too late. It's too late. He's just gonna die, and that's a Field's bad death. There he. So you kind of get into this mindset, you know what, I'm 2 levels ahead of everyone else. I have this Manta, and I can just right click. We killed 2 heroes, we have the better team fight, but you're playing against ILTW, alright, one of the top carriers in EU. And you have to give that respect. And really, after he saw that he was doing no damage to ILTW, he should have just TP'd out. I don't think they would have been able to cancel his TP. He already did that once, right? And you can kind of repeat that, but he kind of got into a mindset where, you know what, I think I'm strong enough to fight. And now, the level difference is pretty much null. By the time he responds, they're going to be LTW is going to be level 13, and so is this Ember. Yeah, so both of them reach level 13 before he respawns, and now you're on the back foot again. Now you have to catch up, and he is not going the Hurricane Pike. He understands that his job this game is to become strong enough to right click the enemies, and they not being able to do fuck all about it. They can't, yeah. And again, the enemies take over the triangle, you just have to run away. You can't, you've already lost a team fight there. You cannot fight there again. And you just farm. And because he wants to be strong enough to right click, he's doing butterfly, second item. After that, he's likely to go into BKB Satanic because he really needs the BKB to be able to fight. He needs this butterfly plus BKB, and okay, I should have okay, my bad. Yeah, I should have turned off. Shit. Okay, whatever. Remember, guys, always turn your Steam profile to invis in your friends list if you want to be left alone for a little bit to record or do something. Yeah. And because, okay, now Lucent Beam is almost maxed, right? And it's going to be. So what's more important here? The Lucent Beam cooldown or the 25 move speed? I think he's going to take the Lucent Beam cooldown. Just because it's a very, very strong, it's just so strong that I don't think there's any point at this, you know, he's already caught up in levels. He's going to max Lucent Beam. So you might as well take the Lucent Beam cooldown down. And his, yeah, and his lifesteal kind of solves itself. And he really needs a lot of lifesteal. He needs BKB, likely, and a lot of lifesteal to be a huge issue. And because he has this I'm going to right click and win mentality, he's likely to take the 8 all stats and the 30% lifesteal. Even though I think the Lucent Beam damage it's kind of good, but maybe when you're, yeah, again, he's going to die again. He's just not strong enough at this point that if he gets jumped that he can do anything. Again, he's still killing the enemies though. He's still getting kills. And he's still the top net worth, and he's going to continue to be. And they won a team fight. Thank God they won a team fight. He's all tier 1 towers are up, but once he gets this the second item, he's going to feel confident enough with his team that they're not going to be able to do what they just did. They're not just going to be able to gung ho right click him and it's going to be okay for the enemies. Because you're just going to get right click for a ton of damage, and he's going to lifesteal enough that he's just not going to immediately die. He's going to have this item plus BKB, and then you're kind of screwed. I think after this item, BKB and Satanic and level 25, he's invincible. He's not gonna die. He can right click to victory. What really needs to do is not give, even though they just lost a team fight, they cannot stop putting pressure. They need to take good team fights. They need to take over the map, and they need to take towers. Maybe take Roche. Roche is likely to be the next objective before. Yeah, they really need to take Roche to be able to stay in the game and pressure. Yeah. It's about that time where one team feels that they're strong enough to take an objective like Roche, and the enemies are just not able to fight them. And it's gonna happen soon. Yeah. Yeah, he took the Lucent Beam cooldown too, and now he's going to max the Lucent Beam. Again, he's not he's really thinking what's best right now and what's best in the future. And what's best right now is like he's doing what's best now and best in the future. Like he's thinking, he's planning ahead, but also not planning ahead to a fault where he can't do anything in the present. Again, he's always preemptively moving the courier to the desired location. And yeah, the enemies are doing Roche now, and they know that, and they can't really contest, even though one's dead. He's going to get this tower, but the enemies are going to get a Roche, and that's going to kind of again make it easier for them to win this game on Radiant. Yeah. ILTW has Aegis. Yeah. Really, each second can't be wasted here. You have no idea what kind of pressure Miracle is under at this moment. He has a second item, but he doesn't have buyback. So if he dies in this team fight, 4v2, then GG. They're just going to push in your tier 3. And he's level 17. It's not like he's low level. Whoops. I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, he is still the highest EXP in the game. Likely with this Aegis, he's going to be able to catch up. Yeah, they're going to be able to catch up on ILTW and the Ember, but Miracle's never going to fall behind. He's only going to get further ahead. Even though the gold lead is in Radiant's favor, this game is going to become very quickly going to become a different game, where either you kill Miracle or you lose. It's as simple as that. And they kind of already understand that. The way that they just kind of threw their bodies at Miracle to kill him, but they died for in return. So they have to they need BKBs, they need more items. And what ILTW has to do is he has to build MKB and other things to be able to counter him. And he's already likely to he's already building it. He knows. See, this is insane level gameplay. Everyone's so good at Dota, especially the top carries in this game. They kind of understand what they need to do. It's just at a certain point, Miracle's not going to be able. They're not going to be able to stop him. As a Phantom Lancer, you're relegated to just right clicking. And if Luna has a Satanic 30% lifesteal, BKB, and a Rapier, you're not going to be able to stop her. Especially not at the timing that she's going to get it, because Miracle's first. He is top net worth, and he's going to stay there. And yeah, he understands. He can't go Satanic before BKB. If he goes Satanic before BKB, he's going to get kited. He's going to get kited immensely. He's going to pop Satanic. They're going to use him. They're going to do whatever they need to do, and then he's just not going to be. He's going to feel like a useless Satanic. He needs this BKB first, so they can't disable him before he gets to right click. He's level 18, baby. And yeah, like I said, they're going to, with the Aegis, they have this advantage where they're more freely able to farm and take over the map. Moonlight Shadow is cast, and again, enemies take over the triangle. You get out, and you kill top. Here you see where the enemies are, and you're going to be easily killing him. And now it's a 4v5. Even then, I don't think you can fight into an Aegis. Not right now. You'll get your pickoffs for sure, but the enemies are also going to give you that respect that they're not just going to push without one of their cores. And if they do, then that's one of your opportunities to see. You don't have TP, yeah. You know that you can't fight into the Aegis and 2 cores, not even as a 4v5. It's the allies' duty. It's your allies' duty to hold off on the push and to not die, and you're going to get a tier 1. Now, this was a situation where Miracle should have died. The correct play here to do was to see that Miracle was too far. Did the Ember Spirit not have a TP? That's why. If Ember had a TP there and he TP'd top, Miracle would have died 100%. He has his Ags. Miracle's not going to be able to kite him, and he'll be forced to fight, and you'll have allies TPing in, and then he'll just die, and that would have secured the victory. Ooh, that was close. Yeah, you can't fight. You already lost one hero, and you see the Phantom Lancer just rushing back into the team fight. Oh, are they? Is Miracle going to die here? No. Yeah, here Void Spirit, he's probably going into the mid lane to cut creeps, but I think it's a little, yeah, it's a little too late. He needs to be doing that now. Does he not have a TP, or he does? But Miracle's alive, and they're going to respect him for sure, especially with his Vengeaura too. He's almost level 20, and I'm really interested to see what he takes. Is he going to take Lucent Beam damage or all stats? He takes the all stats. That's his game plan, and he's sticking with it because he knows that's what's going to win him the game. Is right clicking. Like the 100 Lucent Beam damage is just such a good talent that we rarely see people go without it. But this is one of the few times where you're going to see a top level player recognize that now is a good time to not follow the cookie cutter build on Luna, and instead go the 8 all stats. Because he's playing on the margins here. He's playing he wants to be just strong enough where the enemies have to throw their bodies at him, and he has to survive just long enough that the team, even if he dies, the team should win the team fight. Now, this is a bad position. Now, this feels like a good position, right? You Moonlight Shadowed, and you're in the enemy triangle, right? For the first time, you're in the enemy triangle doing a offensive move. Void Spirit isn't with you. And even though you have this BKB, it's really not enough at this point because you're still behind. The Initial Prophet has a BKB, and he just gets he's not going to get TP out, yeah, because there's Avenge, but he's just creating enough time. He's really just making enough time. And this is one of the follies of being able to use a good Eclipse. He knows that he has to step up to be able to get a good Eclipse so he doesn't hit the Ancients so he stepped up. He's going to use Eclipse with BKB, but all of a sudden you have 5 heroes and your Void Spirit's not here. Venge is already dead. And so you're going to get kills, but I think you're resigning yourself. Yeah, he pops. You get 1 kill. Okay. So that's something I didn't think about. That he would just kind of like make it stand there, but no. Instead, he saw that the teamfight lost. He got a kill. He had to use BKB in Eclipse, but he got to TP out. So he recognized that he could just TP out with a BKB, and that's something I didn't. I mean, I mentioned it twice already that he missed another opportunity to TP out in this triangle where he died. And so yeah, that's what that's what good players do. They recognize these things, and then they make sure that it doesn't happen again. You know, mistakes aren't repeated. And he sees the MKB on ILTW, and now he is going to go this Satanic. And level 25, he's going to go this Lifesteal, and he's going to be so strong. And I think you take the Fairy Fire over this Grove Bow, because this is like a cheese. It's like 3 cheeses pretty much. 450 health. That's a big chunk of your health bar. And without it, you don't want to. And you're currently without BKB too, so you need something defensive that's going to help you survive. He's going to stay first in net worth pretty much throughout this entire game, but is his net worth going to come fast enough where he can get items that are just going to help him carry the game? And the answer here is just he's going Satanic Rapier. Like from minute 2, he knew what his game plan was. I guess even before the game, he knew what his game plan was going to be, and he just executes it. And he really does execute it. Is he just going to BKB TP out again? Yeah, he has to, right? Oh, it's too late. Nope. Venge bails him out. Yeah, he really has to just leave his teammate. They're going to die. And he's holding. Remember, he's holding his meta for this. He uses BKB. He used 2 Fairy Fires actually. He used two Fairy Fires. And if he TP'd out there, because of the MKB, they would have enough damage to kill him in those 2 seconds. Oh, he doesn't keep it. I would think with one charge you would keep the Mindbreaker. And so yeah, ILTW died there for his overaggression. It's not like his team does a lot of damage. Just even with low net worth, they're very useful heroes in that regard. They're just useful because of their abilities and their strengths and what they have. They don't need items to get ahead. Again, his teammates this entire game have been leaving all the farm for Miracle. Oh, Voidspray died, yeah. And you have to get out now. Unfortunate. He really wanted that rune on Voidspray really wanted that rune, but enemies didn't allow it. Good news is that Luna's gonna get this arcane. And because they won that team fight, because they did kill ILTW, he's one of the main reasons why Luna... I think that death on ILTW might have cost him the game. No joke. That might have cost Radiant the game, because he's going to get this Satanic really quickly now, and he's ahead. He's pretty much the highest level. He's 23, yeah, and he's going to get 25 first before anybody else, and he's going to have this massive power spike with Satanic, 30% lifesteal, and a little bit after that Rapier, and you're not going to be able to stop him. I think with just the Satanic and the 30% lifesteal, you cannot deal with. It's too late. It's too late. Okay, so he chooses the Spider Legs over the Mindbreaker. I like it. More movement speed, turn rate, and it allows you to farm faster. And yeah, who has a Mindbreaker? It's the Avenge. Okay. Are they going to get this kill? Yeah, they are. Oh, did he not have BKB? He should have popped BKB. Oh, they really cut it. Does he have Satanic? No, he doesn't. That was well kited by Radiant, but he... Okay, I really don't... Yeah, he still had BKB. And because Nature's Prophet is dead, they should have some sort of an idea that they went to Roche. They really can't let Radiant get another Roche. It's gonna make the game so much more difficult again. And yeah, they recognize it. Yes, Satanic is almost level 25, and they get Roche. But did they get something in return? This is a really good place to fight. Yeah, you can. Yeah, Radiant they have to respect Miracle here. That was a really good place. The enemies are quite low. And if you're given the opportunity to, if they threw the bodies at you at that moment, you could have popped BKB and just killed them all. Yeah, level 25, and he's the first level 25. 2 levels, 225. So he's hit this massive power spike, and it's only going to get worse because of this Rapier. He knows he has 55% lifesteal right now. 55% lifesteal. Plus the Satanic active with BKB, which is at 8 seconds, by the way. I don't think there's any other BKB that's 8 seconds. They're all low on everyone else. And he's one major item ahead. And with this Rapier, I don't know what they can do. I already think it's like even though Radiant is really far ahead, like yes, like 70% to 30, like it's only like they're missing their opportunity. The closer he gets to this Rapier, but I guess you don't really expect Rapier from Miracle if you're the enemy, like, because this is not the normal build, right? I guess if you have an idea of what Miracle is doing and what his game plan is, then maybe. And I'm sure that ILTW has been keeping a close eye on Miracle this game to see what he has to do to outcarry and to counter Miracle. But oh, and really, props to Dire. Props to Dire. They're really doing all they can to not impede Miracle on his farm. Like they're even just they're They're not leaving everything for Miracle, but they're doing their damnedest to take as little from Miracle as they can, and just to give him as much as he needs to be able to carry the game. And yeah, right now he doesn't care anymore that the enemies show themselves. Like, he's beyond the point of being scared of enemies and them running up to him. I wonder how much he heals per hit. Does he also get lifesteal from the moonglyphs? That'd be really interesting. Or is it just the initial hit? I'm not sure how the interaction works there. Again, Niche Prophet dies, they give him more time, and he's going to have one of... Is he going to send the career over first, or... Bin's going to die. There's still 2 tier 1s up. I thought that when he had the butterfly, the 2 tier 1s would die. But I'm just yeah, he doesn't care. And now, does he finally sell the Quelling Blade? Is he going to get rid of the power treads? Because he's had this Quelling Blade since the beginning. He got it with his second Wraith Band. And he's had it till now, because you really need it against Nature's Prophet. If not, you're just going to get kited. And that's going to be your sad reality. Yeah, he's already sending out another TP, likely. Yeah, another 2 TPs. And I want to see the levels. Yeah, only ILTW is level 25. And he's... Yeah. Because he has a Rapier. So he didn't buy the one. So he does all the Quelling Blade. He's like, you know what? I have the Spider Legs. So if I save it for Nature's Prophet, I'm not going to get kited. And that's why he kept this too. The Spider Legs. Because he really needs his Spider Legs to not get kited by the Nature's Prophet. If he gets sprouted, then he can just get... And the enemies have taken a really inopportune moment to fight. Just as you get the Rapier. You don't have buyback, but again, you're not fucking scared. You pop BKB. Or you can even save the BKB for now. Like, there's only one, however, and now you use it. And guess what? Everyone's dying. Everyone's dying. And they cannot fight you. Triple kill. And you can just chase this guy down because you also have Spider Legs. Ultra kill. And now guess what? Game's over. Game is over. There's nothing you can do here. And the plan that he started at 2 minutes into the game has come to fruition 37 minutes into the game. And there's nothing that Radiant can do about it. No matter how many buybacks they have, how many bodies they throw at Miracle, the outcome isn't going to change anymore. It's too late. And guess what? The tier 2s are up. They're just going to go roll down mid and they're going to get the tier 4s and the Ancient. And the enemies cannot stop him. Yep. Is this going to be a dieback? It is. It's likely to be a dieback. Or is it not a dieback? We're just going to go to the buyback side. He does have... That wasn't a dieback. But LTW doesn't have buyback. Neither does the Nature's Prophet. Neither does the 5 position. Neither does the 4 position. Only one player has buyback. And can one player stop Miracle at this point? No way. And they don't even have to hit... Yeah, he knows exactly. It doesn't really matter. And then when the creeps are going to spawn, he can just use Satanic to heal back up. So he's not in danger of just throwing. Yeah, he's going to do that. He didn't even need to do it, I don't think. But, yeah. GG. Just because of this one timing of this Rapier 30% lifesteal and Satanic, and the enemy making a mistake to fight then and there, cost Radiant the game. ILTW had done so much at this point to try to counter Miracle, but that spike in, yeah, it's actually kind of insane. It's really insane what just happened, and really only one of a couple of players in the world would be able to replicate what Miracle did in this game. Not many people would be able to accept that, you know what, we're losing the game, and this rank 700 is going 0-4-4, and we have to depend on him to carry the entire game for us. People are just going to give up at that point. But because this is Miracle playing this and doing this, you know that that's his game plan, and that he's really thought it out with what he's facing against and what his team is capable of. Because if he went this build and this game plan, that his team isn't going to fall behind enough, that the enemies are just going to roll over them. He knew that the innate kit that his teammates have will always be useful, regardless of their net worth and their levels. Of course, there's a certain point where there's no hope, but it never got to that point. And yeah, amazing game. Amazing game by Miracle here. I just want to point it out how amazing this game was, and really like what level these guys play at. Like, I've only just, like small glimpse of what they're truly, what's going on in their heads. I'm just not at that level yet, but it tells you a lot, that of it was just beautiful what I watched, and I just want to show off this game from Miracle while giving my input as a commentator. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Like, comment, and subscribe. I have a couple of other videos too that are a bit different. I swear I have more shenanigans. But this was just got me purely excited, this game. And I really had to look at this game a couple of times to be able to understand what the hell Miracle was doing. Because, man, I'm still left in awe.